yeah, he's not able to actually hold against Rogue's aggression.
Those tiny details, isn't it? It all does add up here, unfortunately. And here we go. It is map number 3, looking to close it out with a 3-0. Up here in the top left-hand side of Triton, representing Generic Green Wings, he is Rogue.
And in the bottom right, our previous world champion, just literally a couple of months ago, guys, about to be knocked out in ZvZ. It is the blue Zerg, Dark.
Those tiny details. The Banelings not being quite finished morphing for Dark in that last hold, potentially crucial. We saw about 12 Banelings crash in from Dark. There were 2 Banelings, for Dark that were finished morphing, about 6 almost done. And Rogue, he took the hit from the first 2, detonated those, and then just took out a Spine, took out a bunch of Roaches, blew up the morphing Banelings as well. And that really, I think, it just adds this sudden burst damage at the start of the fight that really hurts the defender's ability to hold on. So good Baneling hits there from Rogue. And unfortunately, you know, Dark just a little bit slow on the defensive Banes.
Yeah, that's also another one of those like very small things that's a crucial factor, and I'm sure that's why Dark was extra frustrated by that loss. Not only is he down 0-2, and it sucks, but it was also one of those things where like, man, I almost had enough time, like, and it was just barely not enough. The Roaches, the Banelings, the Spine Crawlers, all a couple seconds sooner. Could have been a big difference. Now this, Triton, was the map that he actually took that one loss against Rogue in their previous series that I was mentioning. Rogue's aggression, again, just doing very well against him, but it's just that Rogue is also kind of, he's mixing up his aggression, you know? It's not just going to be hatchery-based Roach Ravager attack or just the Lings. I mean, heck, we could see a bit more of a mid-game here, but then he goes for a faster Spire or something. But the point is, he keeps up the momentum.
You know, as Rogue here, looking at Dark's past games, I'd be going into this map with a plan to deal with those Mutalisks, to deal with those upgraded Zerglings, right? And, you know, a Roach Nidus with Queens popping out. Definitely one of those where if you kind of, it's not the greatest build reactively when you kind of spot what's coming at the last minute and you're like, oh, the Spire's already almost finished. But if you're kind of mentally prepared for that from the get-go and looking to almost even blindly commit to that, it can almost feel like a hard counter to the Mutalisk styles. So definitely something Rogue might have in his playbook. Of course, many directions a StarCraft game can go. Thousands of different build options that these players have in their arsenal. And it is a nice quick Baneling Nest for Rogue this time around.
Dark has done a couple of skipped Baneling Nests, but no, he is going to go for it here. I do think that is the safer call. A couple more drones for Dark, though, so he's not going to be setting the aggression like last game, which, yeah, did not end up doing very much. And there are certainly a decent amount of ZvZs, I should say, where you actually really don't get even the 10 Ling skill check. They both actually just want to drone up, and that kind of seems to be this game. A couple of Lings now on the way for Dark.
Yeah, just defensive so far for both players by the looks of it. A handful of Zerglings at the ready to morph into the Banelings as needed. Rogue just completely unafraid. Non-stop drones. Evo Chamber goes down in the wall off. And it really feels like Rogue is just one step ahead mentally here where, you know, there is an element of luck, but it's also just the build order choices where Rogue is not having any of his gambles called, right? You know, any of his bluffs being called and the chances that he's taking are not being punished.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. It also just feels like he's so much more confident, you know? Like, I don't think Dark lacks confidence, to be clear, but just his decision-making is working out, and he's the one that's taking a little bit of the gamble. Gamble. And he's actually going for a fast lair as we're speaking of it, so very pertinent for this game. Dark still holding off on it, and also, didn't have a very fast evolution chamber. There we go.
Where is that lair for Dark? That's it's a confusing choice here. Potentially just wants to hit the drone count a bit harder. A few more Zerglings coming out, so Dark will apply a small amount of pressure. A ridiculous number of drones coming out behind that as well. So it looks like Dark is indeed just playing a big economy game, not really committing in any one direction, and thereby not giving any information to his opponent. Keeping Rogue guessing a little bit may demand a bit more respect simply by holding off on his choices.
I always wonder, okay, so I'm not surprised by the Spire here from Rogue. I was kind of anticipating that. But for Dark, I do always wonder about that, you know, yes, drones are amazing, and sure, you can delay your lair for that, but do you really want to delay your +1 missile? He does a little bit. It is a little bit behind Rogue, but that's not even really the most important part here, because now we got to think about what that Spire can do, especially if it remains unscouted.
Yeah, that is the big question. With the delayed lair, you have a delayed overseer. with that wall off that players are utilizing so well, no one's been able to get in there and scout the Spire. The Baneling there, of course, left on its own. Can take out Lava, can't take out the drones, so just delays some of Dark's production. Dark, he needs the scout, but Rogue, he just keeps shutting it down.
Very good control here. Literally does not letting even a Ling through, even though the wall is open. No, and as they say that, hey, caster curse, thank you. Oh, he doesn't actually see it. Oh no, you're okay. Never mind. I was gonna, make sure Dark gave me like a cake or something. But.
3 Queens just started up in production though. Dark sees the gases on the third.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing no roaches out kind of goes, hey, wait a second. All right. I think I know what I'm up against here. Now the question is it a defensive play? Yeah, 6th gas goes down. I think we're going to see a 4th base for Dark and just kind of working up to try and hang on. No Nidus Worm and no push out across the map. Interesting here. Dark, I would have expected maybe a Hydra Den or a 4th base or something. Infestation Pit, there we go.
Yeah, but spot on. Like the skill, like even though that one lane didn't get direct scout, everything else still told him what he needed to know, especially considering their history and how prevalent this was and kind of is overall, I guess, in ZvZ. So Dark's on top of it. He did lose a queen there, but with Spore Crawlers should be coming down as well. He's not going to take an extreme amount of damage. An Infestation Pit option. So a bit slower.
How many mutas was that? Was that 6?
I believe so.
7, yeah, real small commitment straight into roaches. So there's going to be a fierce roach counterattack coming in from behind this. Now, this is something Dark needs to pick up on. So many players are like in this meta mindset of like, oh no, it's just going to be Ling Bane and Mass Muta. But this is a crazy number of roaches in production. Rogue can hit a really strong +1 timing behind this.
I mean, is this Burrow and Tunneling Claws? It feels like something he wants to get around the mutas for and not necessarily going to help if roaches suddenly come across the map. So does he have any inkling? He also starts a Pathogen Glands and a Hydralisk Den. This is also, it's not going to help him against a massive amount of roaches right now.
Yeah, this is the trick that Rogue really is going for. He's saying, hey, look, guess what? I'm going mutas, I'm going Zerglings and Banelings, and Dark is building so many spores. He needs like 3 spores at most, no more than that. Queens alone could defend this small number of Mutalisks because it is not being added to. Dark needs to mass produce roaches to survive. It's all about surviving this one big attack. A 40 army supply advantage for Rogue right now. The upgrades are even for quite a while longer. Ravagers morphing, roaches coming across the map. 4 bases against 3. Can Dark hold on?
I'm feeling a little bit scared right now. That's a big army supply difference. Infestors can try and buy some time, but their actual damage with their fungal growth doesn't truly actually matter unless there's a couple of corrosive biles as well, which Dark has absolutely none. He's pounced upon in the middle here. He's got Queens not helping out that much.
The Queens dropping some nice transfuses. Drones immediately pull. Dark realizes how dire this situation is. Rogue has completely tricked him non-stop throughout this series, and yet again here in game number 3. Rogue hitting with a surprising attack. Fungal growth coming down desperately, trying to stabilize. Hits the mutas, hits the roaches on the left, but there's just so much here for Rogue.
Oh man, Dark knows that it's over. Rogue just a masterful crafting of the ZvZ. He's gonna 3-0 a guy who just took out everyone not 3 months ago, who looked amazing in ZvZ against Solar. It does not matter to Rogue because he says, you know what, I win championships, you don't anymore. Rogue with the 3-0.